Hotels see everything. From dirty towels to stolen soaps, they expect a little chaos. But then there are the guests who cross the line into pure insanity. We are talking about the Blacklist, the permanent do not rent file reserved for the absolute worst of the worst. From DIY remodelers to pony smugglers, here are 101 dumbest ways people got banned from hotels forever. 1. We all take the tiny shampoos. That is standard procedure. But one guest in Florida stripped the room bare, taking light bulbs, remote batteries, and even the toilet paper roll holder. Housekeeping walked into a dark, empty cave. She is now on the do not rent list for aggressive scavenging. 2. You think the coffee maker is for coffee? Cute. One genius decided it was a shrimp boiler. He cooked a seafood feast in the pot, leaving a stench that fused with the plastic forever. The hotel charged him for a new machine and banned him for crimes against caffeine. 3. Channeling your inner rock star is fine until you actually throw the TV out the window. A guest at a Motel 6 tried to recreate a classic 70s moment, but only succeeded in smashing a windshield in the parking lot below. He is now paying for a sedan and banned for life. 4. The classic "Do you know who I am?" Influencer move never ends well. A guy with 300 followers demanded a free upgrade to the presidential suite. When the clerk said no, he started live streaming a fake roach infestation using a rubber bug. Security escorted him out while his 3 viewers watched him get blacklisted. 5. DIY hair. Dye jobs are risky, especially in a hotel with porous marble sinks. A woman decided to go neon blue right before checkout and turned the entire bathroom into a Smurf crime scene. The stain was permanent, and so was her ban from the entire hotel chain. 6. Smuggling a dog is one thing, but a guy in Vegas tried to sneak in a miniature pony claiming it was an emotional support animal. The pony kicked a hole in the drywall and relieved itself on the carpet. Turns out, hooves and luxury hotel floors do not mix well. 7. If you want to smoke in a non-smoking room, putting a plastic bag over the detector is a rookie move that trips the silent alarm. The fire department showed up for a false alarm, fined the hotel, and the guest was evicted instantly. Enjoy smoking outside in the rain from now on. 8. Believe it or not, hotel bathtubs are not parts washers for your transmission. A guest actually dismantled a greasy engine block in the tub to clean it, clogging the drains with oil and sludge. The plumbing bill was astronomical, and he is permanently banned for turning the suite into a garage. 9. Paranoia can get expensive. A guest thought housekeeping entering the room was an intruder and unleashed a full can of bear mace. The entire floor had to be evacuated because the HVAC system spread the spice. He is safe from intruders now because he is sleeping in his car. 10. There is a reason for the plastic cup rule at the pool. One genius insisted on bringing a glass bottle of champagne into the hot tub. It shattered, obviously, forcing the hotel to drain and vacuum the entire thing. That is a $5,000 mistake that earned him a lifetime ban. 11. A budget-conscious traveler decided the iron was a perfect panini press for his grilled cheese sandwich. He wrapped it in absolutely nothing, searing burnt cheese and breadcrumbs directly onto the metal plate. The next guest ruined a white dress shirt, and the grilled cheese chef earned a permanent spot on the do not rent registry. 12. Most hotels have rules against durian fruit for a reason, but one guest smuggled 3 of them into a high-end suite in Thailand. When he cut them open, the smell of rotting onions and gym socks permeated the drywall so badly the room was out of service for a week. That stench lingers, and so does his lifetime ban. 13. Wanting a private pool experience, a couple plugged the bathroom floor drain and turned on every faucet full blast. They flooded the room, the hallway, and the ceiling of the lobby directly below them. The water damage bill was 5 figures, ensuring they are never stepping foot on that property again. 14. A bachelor party thought it would be hilarious to have a massive pillow fight, but they took it a step further by slicing open every feather pillow in the suite. Housekeeping opened the door to a winter wonderland of down feathers that clogged the industrial vacuums. The hotel manager was not amused and blacklisted the entire group instantly. 15. Trying to set a romantic mood or perhaps summon a ghost, a guest lit 50 tea light candles directly on the carpet and wooden furniture. He fell asleep, and while the place did not burn down, the melted wax fused deep into the fibers of the rug. He is now barred from the chain for extreme fire stupidity. 16. When the bathroom was occupied, a drunk guest decided the plastic ice bucket was a suitable alternative toilet, then left it in the hallway like a cursed trophy. This went way beyond a cleaning fee, so security filed an incident report and alerted nearby properties. He didn't just get kicked out, he got professionally remembered. 17. Adults jumping on the bed is risky enough, but one guy tried to high-five the ceiling fan while it was on full blast. He shattered the blades, sent glass flying across the room, and nearly broke his hand. The hotel decided they do not need liability nightmares like him returning ever again. 18. Taking the slippers is fine, but one woman tried to walk out wearing the heavy bathrobe, carrying the towels, and stuffing the hairdryer into her purse. Security stopped her in the lobby, looking like a walking linen closet. She was stripped of her stolen goods and her right to future reservations. 19. A guest threatened to post a 1-star bedbugs review unless his entire week-long stay was comped. The manager inspected the room, found zero evidence, and clocked it as pure extortion. He was evicted on the spot, and his profile was flagged across the brand's booking system as a fraud risk. 20. An aspiring artist decided the beige walls were too boring and painted a mural using nail polish and Sharpies. She called it a gift to the establishment, but management called it vandalism. After paying for a professional repainting crew, she found herself permanently exiled from their guest list. 21. The electric kettle is strictly for boiling water, yet housekeeping found boiled socks and fish scales inside one. A guest was trying to do laundry and cook dinner simultaneously in a 1-liter pot. The sheer gross factor got him a lifetime ban faster than the water could boil. 22. Most people accidentally keep a key card, but one guy was caught stealing boxes of blank keys from the housekeeping cart to sell online. It was a weird, petty crime that compromised hotel security. He was escorted off the premises by police and is never allowed back. 23. It is an old college prank, but slapping a slice of pepperoni pizza face up onto the textured ceiling is a nightmare to clean. The grease stain remains long after the pizza falls. One guest did this as a joke, but the cleaning fee and subsequent banning were absolutely serious. 24. Adding a little bubble bath is relaxing, but dumping 3 bottles of dish soap into a jetted jacuzzi creates a foam monster. The suds overflowed into the bedroom and seeped through the floorboards. The cleanup took days, and the guests' reservation privileges were revoked indefinitely. 25. A gender reveal party in a hotel room involved a cannon that blasted 5 pounds of fine glitter into the air. Glitter is the herpes of craft supplies because it never truly leaves. 6 months later, guests were still finding sparkles, ensuring the couple remains on the strict do not rent list. 26. Since electricity is included in the room rate, one tech-savvy guest thought it was the perfect opportunity to set up a massive cryptocurrency mining rig. He had 6 high-powered servers running 24/7, generating so much heat that he tripped the circuit breakers for the entire 3rd floor multiple times. The hotel manager was not interested in his Bitcoin profits and promptly evicted him for stealing industrial amounts of power. 27. A health guru decided the hotel room was the perfect place for a DIY steam detox. So he sealed every vent with tape and boiled pots of water nonstop while blasting the shower on full heat. The humidity warped the door, tripped the smoke alarm, and set off mold warnings for the rooms next door. He didn't cleanse toxins. He baptized the drywall and earned a lifetime ban. 28. Attempting to bypass the expensive minibar prices, a guest carefully opened every liquor bottle, drank the contents, and refilled them with water, tea, and apple juice before supergluing the seals back on. The housekeeping staff noticed the seals looked tamper-evident for a reason, and the hotel charged his card for every single bottle. He is now barred from the property for petty theft and fraud. 29. Thinking he was living in a spy movie, a guest unscrewed the ventilation grate and tried to crawl through the air ducts to sneak into the adjoining room. He made it about 6 feet before getting hopelessly stuck in the narrow metal shaft. The fire department had to destroy the ceiling to cut him out, and the hotel rewarded his espionage attempt with a lifetime trespassing order. 30. Bringing the beach to the hotel sounds fun in theory, but one guest actually hauled 5-gallon buckets of sand into his room to create a tropical vibe for a party. The sand ground into the carpet fibers, destroyed the vacuum cleaners, and scratched the hardwood entryway. Management was furious about the gritty mess and ensured he is never welcome back to their coastal resort. 31. A frustrated guest could not get the window open for fresh air, so he took a power drill to the safety restrictors and removed the entire glass pane. Unfortunately, he did not have a good grip, and the heavy window plummeted 4 stories down, smashing onto the patio restaurant below. Miraculously, no one was hurt, but his reservation rights were revoked instantly for reckless endangerment. 32. In a display of baffling stupidity, a guest decided to iron his clothes while wearing them. But he did not stop there. He tried to iron a synthetic nylon tracksuit. The fabric instantly melted to his skin and the iron, causing a medical emergency and ruining the appliance. The hotel decided that someone lacking that much common sense was too much of a liability to ever host again. 33. A wannabe DJ thought the hotel room was a suitable venue for a ticketed rave and managed to cram 50 people into a double queen suite. The bass was shaking the artwork off the walls in the lobby 3 floors down. Security broke up the party, confiscated the sound system, and the organizer is now blacklisted for violating occupancy limits and disturbing the peace. 34. You would think a pet snake is easy to hide, but one guest lost his 5-foot ball python inside the room and decided not to tell anyone when he checked out. The next guest found the reptile curled up in the toilet bowl 2 days later, causing a massive panic. The original owner was tracked down, fined, and permanently banned for leaving a slithering surprise behind. 35. A man upset about a parking fee decided to enact revenge by supergluing every single drawer and cabinet in the room shut. Housekeeping could not open the nightstand, the dresser, or even the bathroom vanity without using a crowbar and destroying the furniture. The sheer pettiness of the vandalism earned him a spot on the National Do Not Rent Registry. 36. Indoor fireworks are never a good idea, but a couple celebrating New Year's Eve lit a sparkler fountain on the wooden desk. The sparks instantly ignited the drapes, triggering the sprinkler system which flooded their room and the 2 floors below them. They were evicted wet, miserable, and facing a lawsuit, with their names added to the security blacklist immediately. 37. A guest who claimed to be a sovereign citizen refused to leave at checkout time, barricading the door and claiming he had established residency rights in room 204. It took a SWAT team negotiation to get him out after a 6-hour standoff. Needless to say, the hotel chain has blocked his profile to ensure he never tries to colonize another room again. 38. Using the hotel coffee pot to boil water is normal, but one guest used it to clean his dirty underwear and socks because he did not want to pay for laundry service. Housekeeping walked in to find a bubbling soup of Hanes and detergent on the counter. The appliance was thrown in the trash, and the guest was thrown off the property for life. 39. A bored guest thought it would be hilarious to swap the numbers on the hotel room doors down the entire hallway. This caused total chaos as room service delivered food to the wrong people and keys stopped working for confused travelers. Security checked the cameras, identified the prankster, and escorted him out for causing a logistical nightmare. 40. Trying to smoke without getting caught, a genius dismantled the smoke detector and yanked wires out of the ceiling. That triggered a trouble signal on the fire panel and brought the fire marshal in for an inspection. Tampering with life safety equipment is a serious crime in many places, and the hotel happily handed him to police and banned him forever. 41. A guest angry about the rainy weather decided to bring the barbecue inside, setting up a disposable charcoal grill on top of the wooden desk. The toxic smoke triggered the silent alarm instantly, and firefighters arrived to find him flipping burgers in a deadly haze of carbon monoxide. He was slapped with a massive fine for reckless endangerment and is permanently exiled from the chain. 42. We have all seen people steal towels, but a couple in Ohio tried to strap the king-size mattress to the roof of their Honda Civic during checkout. They made it as far as the parking lot exit before the front desk manager sprinted out to stop them. They were charged the full replacement cost and banned for the most ambitious heist attempt in hotel history. 43. The fire sprinkler head on the ceiling is not a coat hanger, But one business traveler insisted on hanging his heavy suit bag on the glass bulb. It snapped, releasing gallons of black, sludge-filled water that had been sitting in the pipes for decades. He ruined his custom suit, destroyed the carpet, and ensured his corporate account was suspended forever. 44. A savvy entrepreneur rented a ground-floor suite and turned it into an unauthorized retail store, complete with clothing racks and a neon open sign in the window. The constant foot traffic of random shoppers alarmed security, who shut down the illegal pop-up shop. He was evicted for running a business without a license and is banned from ever booking a storefront again. 45. Attempting a DIY spa day, a guest microwaved a tub of hard wax without removing the metal lid or checking the settings. The resulting explosion blew the door off the microwave and splattered hot, sticky wax across the textured ceiling, mirrors, and carpet. The room required a professional restoration crew, and the guest was promptly added to the do not rent list for explosive incompetence. 46. Thinking the hotel pool was too crowded, a family bought a massive inflatable kiddie pool and set it up in the center of their room. They spent hours filling it with ice buckets, only for the weight of the water to crack the floor tiles and leak into the lobby chandelier below. They were billed for structural damage and are never welcome back. 47. A child's science project went horribly wrong when a glass ant farm shattered on the carpet and 1,000 ants scattered into the baseboards. Instead of telling anyone, the parents checked out and left the colony to start a new civilization in the walls. It took weeks of extermination, and the family was flagged across the brand for turning a hotel into an ant migration experiment. 48. An aspiring rapper needed a soundproof booth, so he used heavy-duty construction adhesive to glue egg cartons and hotel pillows to every square inch of the wallpaper. When he checked out, removing his DIY acoustic treatment tore the drywall down to the studs. The renovation costs were massive, and his name is now barred from the system to protect future walls. 49. Staging a murder mystery prank sounds fun until you use 3 gallons of theatrical fake blood that stains everything pink. The maid opened the door, screamed, and called the police for a homicide investigation before realizing it was corn syrup. The hotel did not find the joke funny and banned the group for wasting police resources and ruining the linens. 50. A guest on the 10th floor of a beachfront resort decided to go fishing from his balcony, casting a heavy lead weight down toward the ocean. Instead of a fish, he hooked a sunbathing tourist on the pool deck below. Security cut his line, evicted him immediately, and blacklisted him for extreme negligence and turning the balcony into a hazardous zone. 51. A fitness fanatic installed a heavy-duty tension pull-up bar in the bathroom doorway, ignoring the fact that the frame was decorative wood. Mid-workout, the entire frame ripped out of the wall, sending him crashing onto the tile floor. He tried to sue, but the hotel countersued for damages and banned him for unauthorized construction work. 52. Wanting mood lighting, a guest draped a red silk scarf over a high-wattage halogen floor lamp and went to dinner. The heat ignited the fabric, scorching the wall and triggering the sprinkler system that soaked the entire floor. He returned to fire trucks and an immediate eviction notice, ensuring he never dims the lights at that chain again. 53. In a cartoonish attempt at theft, a guest tied bed sheets together to lower the 50-inch flat-screen TV out the window to an accomplice waiting below. The knot slipped, and the TV plummeted 3 stories, smashing into 1,000,000 pieces on the sidewalk. He was caught red-handed holding the sheet and is banned for being the world's worst cat burglar. 54. A group of YouTubers attempted the surstrumming challenge inside a windowless hotel room. Opening a can of fermented herring releases a stench comparable to a decomposing body, and the smell absorbed into the curtains, carpet, and furniture foam. The room was unrentable for a month, and the creators were permanently exiled for chemical olfactory assault. 55. A paranoid guest was convinced there was a hidden safe under the floorboards after watching a conspiracy video. He used a tire iron to pry up expensive hardwood flooring and smash through the subfloor, finding absolutely nothing but concrete. The destruction was total, and he was escorted out in handcuffs with a lifetime ban for structural vandalism. 56. Boredom led one amateur golfer to turn his suite into a driving range, using a wedge to chip balls directly into the drywall. He treated the plaster like a fairway, leaving dozens of impact craters and eventually shattering the sliding glass door with a sliced shot. The repair bill was impressive, and his handicap now includes a permanent restriction from ever booking a tea time or a room at this resort again. 57. A guest decided that the hotel's heating system was insufficient, so he brought a commercial-grade propane space heater designed for outdoor construction sites. The carbon monoxide detectors went crazy, forcing a midnight evacuation of the entire wing while firefighters vented the building. Management was furious about the potential mass casualty event and extinguished his ability to ever make a reservation in the future. 58. Virtual reality can be incredibly immersive, which explains why a gamer wearing a headset forgot he was in a small hotel room. While fighting digital zombies, he threw a haymaker punch that connected solidly with the 60-inch smart TV, spiderwebbing the screen instantly. He tried to claim it was broken when he arrived, but the digital login data proved otherwise, leading to a swift game over for his guest status. 59. In a misguided attempt to save money on a spray tan salon, a guest set up a DIY tanning booth in the shower without using a protective tent. The industrial-strength orange mist coated the white tiles, the grout, the shower curtain, and even the ceiling in a sticky bronze glaze that refused to scrub off. The housekeeping manager declared the bathroom a disaster zone and flagged her profile as a serious property damager. 60. Believing the hotel room was haunted, a superstitious traveler poured 20 pounds of coarse rock salt in a solid line around the perimeter of the room and across the bed thresholds. The salt was ground into the carpet by his footsteps and completely destroyed the motor of the industrial vacuum used to clean it up. He was exorcised from the guest list, not for the ghosts, but for the custodial nightmare. 61. The box might say flushable, but putting an entire pack of wet wipes down a hotel toilet is a recipe for disaster. One guest managed to create a massive clog in the main stack that caused sewage to back up into the bathtubs of the 3 rooms directly below him. The plumbing emergency cost thousands to fix, and he effectively flushed his reputation down the drain along with the wipes. 62. An artist thought the hotel mirrors were the perfect canvas for his etching hobby and used a diamond-tipped tool to scratch intricate designs into the glass of the bathroom vanity and full-length hallway mirror. He called it permanent art. The general manager called it felony vandalism. He was charged for every single pane of glass and is now permanently barred from displaying his talent on their property. 63. Trying to create a nightclub atmosphere, a guest replaced all the standard light bulbs in the room with high-wattage black lights he bought online. Unfortunately, the bulbs were too powerful for the fixtures, melting the plastic sockets and scorching the lampshades. The smell of burning electrical components alerted security, who unplugged his rave and added his name to the corporate security watch list for creating a fire hazard. 64. A bicycle enthusiast decided the hotel bathtub was the ideal place to strip the paint off his mountain bike frame using harsh chemical solvents. The fumes were so toxic that they traveled through the vents into neighboring rooms, causing guests to complain of dizziness. The chemical burns on the tub's finish were permanent, ensuring this amateur mechanic is never welcomed back to the chain. 65. Curiosity got the better of a conspiracy theorist who was convinced the room was bugged, so he dismantled the telephone, the smoke detector, and the television remote with a screwdriver. He left a pile of wires and circuit boards on the bed, having found absolutely nothing but his own paranoia. The hotel does not appreciate guests destroying electronics, so they disconnected him from their reservation system forever. 66. A parent thought it would be a fun memory to let their kids play The Floor is Lava by jumping between the 2 queen beds. The game ended abruptly when the father joined in, snapping the wooden bed frame in half and collapsing the box spring onto the floor. Management decided that a family capable of destroying heavy furniture in under an hour was a liability they could not afford to host again. 67. Bringing live bait to a hotel is always risky, but one fisherman brought a cardboard box filled with 500 live crickets for his lizard. The box tipped over during the night, releasing a chirping plague into the walls, the vents, and the hallway. The noise was maddening for weeks, and the extermination costs earned him a lifetime spot on the Do Not Rent registry. 68. A guest attempted to hack the room's thermostat because it wouldn't go below 68 degrees, so he ripped the faceplate off and started twisting wires together. He managed to short-circuit the entire HVAC unit, blowing a fuse that shut down the air conditioning for the whole floor on a 90-degree day. He was left out in the heat, permanently banned for tampering with building infrastructure. 69. Microwaving. A glow stick to make it brighter is a terrible internet myth that one guest decided to test inside his suite. The stick exploded, coating the microwave, the kitchenette cabinets, and his own face in glowing toxic chemicals. The hazardous cleanup required special solvents, and the guest's glowing review of the hotel was the last thing he ever contributed before being blacklisted. 70. In a drunken stupor, a college student mistook the laundry chute door in the hallway for a fun slide and attempted to ride it down to the basement. He got wedge-stuck between the second and third floors, screaming for help until the fire department cut the wall open to extract him. The hotel was not amused by the structural damage or the sheer stupidity, sliding him straight onto the permanent ban list. 71. Tie-dyeing t-shirts in a hotel sink is a rookie error. One guest turned a pristine porcelain basin into a psychedelic swirl of permanent neon green and purple. The dye splashed onto the towels and the tile grout, creating a messy masterpiece that management did not appreciate. She was scrubbed from the guest list immediately. 72. Convinced the safe was included in the room price, a guest used a crowbar to pry the bolted steel box out of the closet wall. He managed to destroy the drywall and the wardrobe before security intervened. He left in handcuffs, and his reservation privileges were revoked for attempted grand larceny of hotel property. 73. Flying a drone down a hotel hallway seems fun until you clip a fire sprinkler head. One pilot snapped the valve, and the system dumped water for minutes, flooding multiple floors and triggering a full-blown evacuation. The damage was catastrophic, and his name was permanently grounded from ever checking in again. 74. A guest decided the ironing board was a perfect surfboard for hallway surfing behind a running luggage cart. He wiped out, smashing into a housekeeping trolley and sending glass amenities flying everywhere. The hotel decided that liability risks like him belong on the street, not in their corridors. 75. Feeling sorry for the lobsters in the hotel restaurant tank, a guest liberated them into the decorative fountain in the lobby. The saltwater crustaceans died instantly in the chlorinated fresh water, creating a grim, expensive scene. He was billed for the dinner he ruined and banned for his misguided activism. 76. To create a winter wonderland for Instagram, an influencer sprayed 5 cans of artificial snow all over the windows, mirrors, and velvet headboard. The chemical foam hardened like cement and refused to scrape off. The cleaning crew was furious, and the influencer was blocked from the property faster than you can say #banned. 77. A guest annoyed by the brightness of the exit sign above his door decided to paint over it with black spray paint. Tampering with emergency lighting is a massive fire code violation that puts everyone at risk. The fire marshal was called, fines were issued, and the vandal was permanently exiled. 78. Misunderstanding how a bidet works, a guest tried to use it as a water fountain to fill his heavy coolers. He put too much weight on the porcelain fixture, snapping it off the wall and causing a geyser in the bathroom. He is now barred for destroying plumbing fixtures through sheer ignorance. 79. A guest refused housekeeping for 2 weeks, building a literal fortress of pizza boxes and takeout containers that touched the ceiling. The smell attracted a legion of cockroaches that spread to neighboring suites. The sanitation hazard cost thousands to fumigate, and his name was added to the filthiest do not rent list in existence. 80. Wanting a spooky fog effect for a party, a guest flushed 5 pounds of dry ice down the toilet. The rapid gas expansion caused the ceramic bowl to explode like a frag grenade, shattering porcelain all over the bathroom. He luckily avoided injury, but he could not avoid a lifetime ban for blowing up the plumbing. 81. A guest decided to shave his entire body, head to toe, while standing on the carpet instead of in the bathroom. Housekeeping found a layer of hair embedded so deep into the rug fibers that the vacuum choked and died. The gross factor alone was enough to ensure he never sets foot in that hotel again. 82. Trying to charge an electric car without a station, a guest ran a daisy chain of 3 cheap extension cords from his 4th-floor window to the parking lot. The cords overheated and melted onto the windowsill, creating a massive fire hazard. Security unplugged his rig and terminated his stay permanently for electrical stupidity. 83. A guest microwaved a foil-wrapped burrito for 10 minutes, ignoring the sparks and smoke until the microwave actually caught fire. The sprinklers doused the kitchenette, ruining the cabinets and flooring. His inability to follow basic kitchen safety rules earned him a swift kick onto the street and a permanent blacklist entry. 84. Thinking it would be funny, a guest swapped the push and pull signs on the main glass lobby doors. It caused a pileup of confused travelers and eventually led to someone walking straight into the glass, cracking their nose. The prank was caught on camera, and the Joker was banned for causing intentional chaos. 85. A guest used the hotel's decorative curtains to polish his muddy boots, leaving deep brown streaks across the expensive fabric. When confronted, he claimed he thought they were shoe shine rags. Management did not buy the excuse, charged his card for new drapes, and banned him for disrespecting the decor. 86. Trying to save money on dining, a guest decided to boil raw crab legs inside the electric kettle. The stench of boiling seafood fused with the plastic, making the appliance smell like a low tide forever. Housekeeping gagged upon entry, and the amateur chef was permanently 86'd from the property. 87. A group of friends booked 2 separate rooms and decided to create a mega suite by dismantling the bolted-down furniture and swapping it between units. Maintenance had to spend hours matching the serial numbers to put the beds back. The hotel charged them a massive labor fee and blocked their profiles for logistical chaos. 88. Valet parking cost $20, so a cheap guest parked his sedan directly under the hotel's front portico and refused to move it, claiming he was unloading for 8 hours. He blocked the fire lane and the main entrance until a tow truck dragged his car away. He is now banned for paralyzing the lobby. 89. A guest poured leftover hot candle wax down the bathroom sink, thinking it would just flow away like water. Instead, it hardened inside the P-trap, turning the plumbing into a solid block of paraffin. Plumbers had to cut open the wall to replace the pipes, and the guest was cut from the reservation system. 90. Parents let their toddlers use permanent markers to draw on the pristine white duvet covers, thinking the hotel had magic laundry that could fix anything. The ink ruined the sheets, the comforter, and the mattress pad below. When they refused to pay the damage deposit, the manager added the entire family to the blacklist. 91. A guest grabbed the wall-mounted fire extinguisher for a funny prank and emptied it down the hallway like he was putting out imaginary flames. The powder-coated carpets, vents, and electronics, setting off alarms and forcing a cleanup crew to vacuum the entire floor. He got charged, evicted, and blacklisted for weaponizing safety equipment. 92. At a beachfront hotel, a guest kept the sliding door open and started feeding seagulls French fries to make friends. The birds poured in like a flying robbery crew, tore open trash bags, pooped on the bedspread, and turned checkout into a Hitchcock remake. Management banned him for turning housekeeping into bird control. 93. A guest left a generous $100 tip for housekeeping on the pillow, but it turned out to be movie prop money that said, "For motion picture use only." The staff felt insulted by the fake generosity, and management flagged his profile for passing counterfeit currency and being incredibly cheap. 94. Thinking he was a hacker, a guest tried to root the smart TV to install pirated movie apps. He managed to delete the operating system entirely, turning the expensive screen into a useless brick of plastic. He was billed for a replacement unit and banned for digital vandalism. 95. In a scam attempt, a guest poured a cup of water on the lobby floor and deliberately threw himself onto it to fake a slip-and-fall injury. Security cameras captured him looking around to ensure no one was watching before staging the dive. The fraud attempt earned him an eviction instead of a settlement. 96. Booking a standard room for 2 people, a guest tried to sneak 20 friends in through the fire exit for an unauthorized slumber party. The noise complaints were instant, and the fire marshal arrived to clear the hazard. The organizer was fined for occupancy fraud and permanently exiled. 97. Drying wet jeans by draping them over a lampshade is a fire hazard, not a life hack. The denim overheated and started smoldering, filling the room with acrid smoke and triggering the sensors. The guest saved $2 on a dryer cycle, but lost his ability to ever stay at the chain again. 98. A guest locked their passport in the digital safe and forgot the code. But instead of calling the front desk, they tried to drill the lock out with a tool from their truck. They destroyed the safe mechanism and the closet shelf. Management decided that destructive DIY projects are grounds for a lifetime ban. 99. Alcohol and balconies do not mix. A guest thought it would be funny to throw the patio furniture into the swimming pool 5 stories below. The metal chairs cracked the pool deck concrete and could have killed someone. He was escorted out in handcuffs and is legally barred from the premises. 100. A nature lover found a raccoon outside and decided to bring it into the room as a temporary pet. The wild animal panicked, tearing down the curtains, scratching the drywall, and hiding in the ceiling tiles. Pest control had to intervene, and the guest was banned for harboring wildlife. 101. Too cheap to pay for a late checkout? A guest pulled the fire alarm to create chaos and slip out during the evacuation without paying his bill. Security cameras caught him smirking near the pull station. That is a felony offense, ensuring he spent the night in jail and never in a hotel room again. The level of entitlement and lack of brain cells on this list is actually terrifying. Housekeeping deserves a raise, and these people deserve to sleep in their cars. Now I have to know, what is the absolute worst thing you have ever found in a hotel room or the craziest thing you have seen a guest do? Confess in the comments below. Smash that like button if you have common sense. And subscribe right now so you don't miss the next list.